Hello guys, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teaching. Before we start, just a quick disclaimer. Anything we discuss in this video is only for educational purpose only. Nothing is financial advice. All right, guys, earnings season, as I promised, still fine, giving us so many opportunities. Today we were spot on. Our game plan was spot on. I even shared the game plan with you guys. Our shorts were spot on. Our longs were spot on. Today was just flawless, right? So there's a lot of names to cover. I might not be able to go through all of them, but I will cover our top winners, our top movers that we had, and I will cover all the my guidance that I guided the traders through. So we'll cover all that. Before we do that, let's do a quick introduction to anybody who's new to our X accounts, new to my YouTube account, or new to our community. I suggest everyone to watch these recaps every day, either you're a part of the community or not. Learn this system, learn our setups, so you can also change your life with this education, right? Rather than following blindly somebody for alerts, you can be in control of your own future, because this system is actually helping a lot of traders, and it will change your life if you believe in your education. It's free to learn, so make sure you learn. Anyways, let's do a quick introduction. So we trade a repeatable system, the repeatable system called Ripster EMA Cloud System. This system is traded by thousands of traders across the world to trade consistently. The system just doesn't include indicators that I have invented, but it also includes a lot of the concepts that I teach day in, day out. Day trading, swings, investment, whatever those concepts I teach combines our system. We trade repeatable setups. System is how you trade, setup is what you trade. You need to know what you trade. To find what we need to trade, we make a daily game plan. I make this game plan live in the pre-market every day. So I make a live pre-market game plan every day. So we have an initial support level, we have a resistance level, and we have initial game plan, initial bias. So based upon that bias, we trade all day. We have this on our watch list, and we follow the setups. Today was another huge day for earnings. I highlighted the plays in the red. I make this live in the pre-market on live screen share. I highlight the main plays in red so the traders can focus on the highlighted plays. Of course, you can't play everything, but I do guide my traders, through everything. That's what I do. So I make sure my traders are on the right side of the trades, which are the good trades, and I will show you my timestamped guidance, how I guide my traders through those trades, and how we successfully trade there and try to be green every day. We will cover some index stocks as well. These are the earnings plays, and then we have news plays. Index stocks, we'll talk about Apple a little bit. Maybe we'll talk about Tesla. So we also trade futures. I provide these future levels in the pre-market, which you can trade using the Ripster EMA Clouds. We did a futures webinar as well. You can watch that. Should be on YouTube. If not, it should be in the community. We also trade crypto stocks. When Bitcoin is moving, crypto stocks are moving. We do trade those crypto stocks as well, and we provide that plan in the pre-market. We make levels and plans for all the indices, ETFs, Mag 7s, and we focus on these setups, and the levels are provided to the traders in the community. We also trade our special strategy, the invented, which is called a Day2, Day3 strategy. The top plays on the Day2, Day3 strategy, I usually put it on the top. We'll talk about PLTR, LMND, and HIMS today. Those one of our top Day2 plays, and these are stress-free strategy, and we give all the pre-market planning for those setups to the traders. They use the Ripster EMA Clouds, they use the MTFs, and they also look at if there's any catalyst or anything. So we, so the traders can trade those setups. I'm usually on voice. First few hours of the market open, I'm on the live screen, and I guide the traders what the market is doing, and going through all the trades, any trades I like, telling them it's going to be long or short. We are not an alert service. We are educational based community where everybody's trading the repeatable system. Everybody's responsible for their trades, but I still try to guide the traders. I'll show you my timestamp guidance, and we are one of the largest trading communities online. We have one of the largest trading floor with thousands of traders on our floor every day, who share ideas, helping each other to find the opportunities in the market and grow their account, keeping the losers small and winners big. In which we have many webinars, presentations as well in the community. If you want to join the community, of course, I have 1,000+ videos on YouTube which you watch every day, and we have a lot of tools. We have over 3 option flow scanners. Today we caught Apple on one of those scanners, and we also have free stock scanner. We have breaking news alerts, we have audio news alerts, audio squawks, support resistance alerts, we have order flow. We have our tools over $500-600 a month, which are free for the traders in the community to trade. So that's a quick introduction of our community and of what we do. So that now that you heard that, so now let's start with our recaps, and hopefully you guys can learn and you can implement these repeatable setups in your trading every day. I promise, if you learn this, you commit to the teachings, risk reward teachings, the 4 pillar teachings, you will find success in the stock market. All right, let's start. All right, let's start with the first one here. So the first one we're going to take a look at is ANET. So let's take a look at ANET. Great company, great growth stock, great investment name. Let's take a look what was the ANET. So ANET was one of our focus trading focus plays today. It was it beat on revenue, beat on guidance, and it was upgraded by bunch of companies. So all-time highs, bullish bias to long as 131 holds, gap and crap under 131. So plan was to long ANET as long as that 131 holds. So let's see what ANET did here. Let's take a look and go back in the morning. So ANET, as soon as I see it bouncing over this 3450, so as soon as I see that ANET is bouncing over 3250, I told the trader long it and over pre-market highs versus this level of 133. Right, so that was the long I gave right in the pre-market. You see it's bouncing from 131. I mentioned the 131 level in the pre-market. So you take a long here, you take 1,000 shares, 500 shares. You know, if you're taking 500 shares here, or you're going to take a little bit more, you risk it like $1,000 if you're taking here. And then we pushed all the way to 139. You know, you made $2,000 if you risk 1,000 shares on that move on ANET. Of course, the options went as well as higher as well. You can see the timestamp guidance when we longed it at 9:31 right out of the gate. You need to be fast at the open. If you miss the open, then you take this pullback. It pulled back right here. I told the traders to add this pullback. This was a retest of this breakout. So basically, it was this retest of this breakout. So we were retesting this breakout. So we were retesting this breakout, you see there, and that's when you add air as well. Your stops are still that 133 area, and then you're looking for the push to the 140 target to get that there. And then we put out the stops at 136. It continued to run, ANET continued to push, and as it pushed, we kept moving on the stops higher. We did flag. So that was a beautiful winner for us on ANET. You know, very simple setup. You can go back and see my pre-market planning. I did share this, tweeted it out as well, our pre-market planning. Pretty good trade. You know, all-time highs, like RGV saying here, 52-week all-time highs, gap up, daily bullish, holding 3450, pre-market high breakout. Easy setup. Now you just have to manage your positions. You know, trade small if you're having troubles with winning or trading these setups. Trade small. You know, just buy 100 shares, 200 shares, whatever makes sense to you. Try to hold this as long as the cloud holds. Do not pike. Be a cloud, we call it cloud rider. Hold as long as the Ripster clouds hold. Let's go to the next one. All right, so next one we're going to look at is, so let's look at next one. We're going to look at Shopify. Shopify was okay, but it didn't really give us anything after 10 a.m. That's why we use our 10 a.m. concept for profit taking. So let's take a look at Shopify. So Shopify beat expectations, 52-week high, bullish bias versus 144. Breakout over 150. So the long, that was the plan, right? So breakout was over 150. This is why it was a breakout, and bullish bias versus 144. So you take it long right away as it breaks out of the pre-market high. You take it long right away, 1,000 shares, or 5 options, whatever you want to do. You take it long and then you hold it. So we took it long right out of the gate. We put our stops at 145.50. You're risking like depending on where you add. If you are adding at 150, then you made $6. You probably 1-to-1 risk reward. So we pushed higher from that long. We pushed higher, and by 9:40 we hit 156. And after that, it went sideways. So it didn't really do anything. It went sideways, didn't really do anything for us. And then when it started to pull back, we exited it. It still was a green to flat trade. If you took off at this highs, then you made a little bit better trade 101. But it would happen sometimes. But the worst mistake you can do is you're adding here and you're cutting here. That's not going to work out. But even if you respected the 10-minute chart, it held the 10-minute clouds. and then I said it's curling. So I gave the call on Shopify versus 150. So it was curling, it pushed 152 again, then it pulled down, and we just closed it. You could use the 150 risk as well, but I was not a big fan of this pullback, so we decided to cut it. But you did use, it was a choppy trend. You did see that it never broke 150 and it continued to push higher by the end of the day. All right, so next one I'm going to look at is ALAB. So let's look at ALAB. Let's see here. ALAB, another very strong name, very high probability strong name. But the thing with ALAB today was this one again, so we longed it right out of the gate. Let's take a pre-market plan here. So ALAB, the plan was bullish bias to long the pullback. So that was the plan given to everyone, to long the pullback. That was our bias. As soon as I see it pushing over 512s, I told the traders to long and put the stops at 166. So you long at 168, 170, and you put the stops at long 66. You see this pullback, you add here at 168 and put the stops at 166. And then we continue to push, and then at 947 we broke out the flag, and then I gave the target of 180. We hit our 180, and the 180 calls also went 100% by then. Once we pushed up there, we put our stops at 170. Now our next target was 185, but it failed to push over 184. And now our stops are always at 512, but we do, when we see such a big red candle, it tells you an idea that it's not going to bounce. So once it broke here at under 174s, we closed our position. We did give back some profit, but regardless, from 168 to 183, it was a beautiful trade, 100% in the options. The traders got more than $12 per share profit, and we had our stops at 174. Once it did not hit the 174, we got out. So you see, we are still adding here and we are getting out here, and we did give up some profit, but that would happen sometime, and we are highly watching it for tomorrow for day twos. If it holds the 3450, we will look for the next leg up. All right, so next one we're going to look at is our UPST. So what was the plan on UPST? Let's take a look here. So UPST, the plan on UPST was, so UPST, one of our top plays, long over 82, only long over 82, no go under 82. Okay, so did it push over 82? No. Right away it started to break down. So right away it started to break down. I told the traders to short it versus 80. I gave the target of 72.70. Right at the open, I gave the target of 72.70, and we flushed and we made a bear flag for a while. Some trader gets impatient. We don't. This is a bear flag. You hold, and then we flushed. Then we hit our 720. MTF short. We know it's not pushing over 82. We know we want to short it. Now we just want to share the shorts, short the shares, or we want to buy the puts, whatever we want to do. If you shorted the shares, even if you did 77, your risk was like $2, 500 shares, you're risking 1,000, but it flushed to 66. By the end of the day, it did flush to 66. Even 500 shares, you made $5,000, but you need to respect the clouds. You're risking $1,000, you're making $4,000. By the end of the day, you have to hold it all day long. That's how you make good profits in trading. That's how this earnings season is just so good. I mean, there's such a good moves. We are just killing it with our short setups. It was a home run for everyone. If you see my timestamp guidance, I told the traders once we break 733, we will get more. 72 target hit, we hit 70. I told the trader it is still heavy, keep moving the stops down. We moved the stops at 70, we still heavy, and all day it was heavy, right? If you want to look at the options, let's take a look at UPST option for let's take a look at option 75 puts, right? So let's take a look at 75 puts. So we're looking at the 75 puts here. Let's take a look. So 75 puts, let's see what, So 75 puts, not the liquid, but they did go for $1.50 all the way to $8. So 600%, 500, 600% gain was possible on this UPST on the options as well. You're taking $1,000 worth options. You're making 4, 5, 6 grand on that option. So that's how you trade. So pre-market planning, we know it's a short. You just have to take a position, and do not just panic, buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here. Respect the 10-minute Ripster Cloud System. That's how you will have those big home runs which will grow your account. Because when we lose, we're going to lose a couple of points. But when we win 10 points. That's how you do it. All right, so let's look at SMCI. So SMCI was another short in the community. So, and let's look at the pre-market planning on SMCI. So the plan on SMCI was pretty simple. So if you look here, misses on EPS, misses on revenue, guides lower. So everything is bad. The fundamental is bad earnings. So I told the traders to short under 50 MTF, only long if 50 is reclaimed. Bearish bias. So I gave the bearish bias in the pre-market. So what did it do? As soon as I see the rejections, I said short it. You need the pre-market break and you short it. Do not chase. You need the pre-market break and short it. You see it trying to break the pre-markets here. Break here, retest, you short it right here, your stops are 47.40, just 50-cent stop, and you are going to make beautiful $2 fade on that one. You know, easily, even if you're risking $1,000, you're making $2,000 there on SMCI short. So that was all day short, still a short. Under 45 you get more flush, and that's what I told the traders. And we didn't really break the for that, but we exited once it pulled over the clouds. And this was a call, this is why we exited. And then SMCI hit that 34.50. You could play that. So I put the alerts at 512. This was a fly 12 alert, you can see that. And once it pushed over 512, it was no longer a short. We covered it, and you get out of that. So let's look what was our plan on AMD. So let's take a look here. So AMD, the plan was if 164 holds, watch the MTF pre-market lows, 512 call watch, right? So that was our plan. The support was 164, 160, 170. So but when I did not see it pushing higher, it was a short, right? When it rejected 34.50, it was a short. And when it broke the MTF clouds, I told that it's a short, and I gave the target of 160.40. We hit 160.40, and our next target was 156. We didn't really hit 156, and it bounced from there. And then Lisa, the CEO, started to talk, and then it bounced it, but we closed our shorts right at 160, 140. Still a decent trade. It was still a short bias trade, no long there. The beauty of our system is we know, are we going to long it or are we going to short it? There's no surprises. So NRG is also a beautiful trade, because NRG, even in the last time, it had a big move. So NRG was on our watch list, on our earning plays. Misses on revenue, misses on EPS. Whenever they do that, it's always a good short. So, and NRG, if it pushes over 170, breakout 173, no go under the MTF. So no go under the MTF. So it was no go under the MTF. So when I see it rejected right here, I told the trader to short it. Just watch the pops and do not chase it. And once it broke this right here, I told the trader it's going to go towards the next MTF, and then he hit the next MTF. And then once we broke that MTF, I told the traders to cover, and we hit almost 145. This is called a gap down and gap down fade setup, right? That was a beautiful fade. There are many fades like that, which we could call. There's a DAVE was another one, which was a gap down fade setup. That was also on our earnings. And these are the trades you can short them, and you can really home run setups on these shorts. Like you can see the DAVE, even the DAVE, I told the traders the short under MTF, bearish bias, right? So that was also another good trade, NRG DAVE. And all you needed is short, even if you shorted few shares on NRG, let's say short you 200 shares, right? Even that, you're making $2,000 by the time you cover here. And it's easy to short. It's available everywhere. Of course, if you want to buy the puts, the puts on these traders, not traded much on the puts, but still, if you traded, let's say 150 puts, and they're illiquid, but they still went from 50 cents to $3-4, $600-700 return on that. So that's how you grow your account with these highly probable setup, called gap down and fade setups. All right, so next one we're going to look at another setup called HNGE. It's a new IPO. I was talking about these new IPOs today. So the plan on the HNGE was bullish buys, right? Now, try to understand why. Highlighted red play, new IPO, all-time highs, bullish buys to long versus 51.50, breakout is 56. Right, so I clearly told the traders to long it. There's the bullish bias, and you see that HNGE, and it was a great guidance today on HNGE. HNGE was on top of it all day long, and you can see that HNGE was a long setup. The HNGE was guiding it, and Navy was on it. All the traders on the community, they were going it. Honit got along there on as well at right here at 1032 on the 512 calls. From $55, he took it all the way to $61, right? Why was it? Because Hinge is a new IPO, and new IPOs, whenever they're growing EPS, growing revenue, breaking all-time highs, they're always a good longs. That's how you can see that nice little flag here as well on the weekly chart. So you analyze it. These are high conviction longs. That's why I put it as good long setup. So next one we're going to look at is Go. So Go was mostly my voice guidance, and Go was the plan on the Go was here today. This morning was, let's take a look here. There was another earning play. It held the 512s, pushed over 34.50. I told the traders to watch the pullback on this one, and it did run like from 16 bucks all the way to 19 bucks. Another earning play. All right, so let's now talk about the day two setups. Day two repeatable strategy. Let's look at the let's look at the top one. The top one was LMND. Here's we go day two sheet. Let's look at the day two planning. What was our day two planning here? So LMND is a second day two setup. It was earnings day two, 1 hour MTF support, resistance and support pivot and resistance pivot. And the plan on the day two is always that once it holds the EMA clouds, we take it long right away, right? So you see that it's pushing to take it long right away. It did push from the 48.80 in the morning to the 51.22. It stopped us, few of us out because it broke the 512s. It did run later. So it was sadly a little choppy trend. The 10 minutes didn't help us on this one because you can see the choppy candles. But some of the traders did hold it on that 30 minute, and then it pushed higher, But there was a good trade in the morning, buy 1,000 shares here, you risk $500. You make like $1,000 or a little bit of trade here. It was a little disappointing, but the next one made up for it. So next one was a PLTR, so another day to setup. You do not ignore the stock which has earnings on the day one. I say this 100 times every day. So once you see this, you can see the traders, how the traders in the community were all over PLTR. So once you see this, the next day after the earnings, once you see that we are pushing over the 3450 clouds, we are breaking out of the yesterday's highs. It's a long right here. It's a long over the pre-market yesterday highs as well. So PLTR day two, look at that. My booty was on top of it. Emerald, PLTR day two. Beach said PLTR day two. Robocash, PLTR day two. Tony PLTR day two, LIJ PLTR day two. The whole community was on top of it. They don't even wait on me. Look at Beach. They try to tag me. They're already long, and Tony was long on PLTR, and I was busy with the other earning plays. But Ankit was asking me stops. I gave them stops. But you can see that the power of these day two setups, right? We did hit 180 as well. And it's easy, it's stress-free. You already know it had a good earnings. It's pushing over the 3450, pushing over this, pushing over the yesterday highs. This is earnings day two setup, guys. Have repeated many times how to trade the earnings day two setups. So those are the day two setups. I did tweet out something. If you want to take a look at it, you can pause the screens and learn these day two setups, second day longs and second day short. That's how we are executing them. So that was a PLTR, and let's talk about few other home run day two setups here. All right, so next one, another home runs. These were day two shorts, right? So we talk about those day two longs, LMND and PLTR. Now this comes our day two short. And 4 was also, INSP was also a day to short here. So basically, right, so we have this, right, if I go to this my day to sheet, you can see that we have INSP earning day two, one of our top plays, top plays, all-time lows, just what I showed you in the screenshot, all-time lows, pop. This was actually a 30-minute air gap, rejected the 30-minute clouds, fail, short 1,000 shares. By the end of the day, you're up 5-6 grand. You're risking 1,000 grand. So guys, it might look like that everything is working for us. It's in front of you. It's no BS, no hindsight. Look at my guidance, day to show, target 80.50, stop 79, all the way down. Because our system, nobody has the system we have. And that's the reason of part of our success. I have done it. I have achieved what I wanted to achieve. And now I'm here to teach you guys these setups, right? So you guys can also find this lifetime success, and not depending on the alerts and somebody coming to you and trying to tell you what to buy or sell. You can be in control of your own destiny. Okay, so master these setups. So next one we're going to look at is, so next setup was our HIMS setup. So let's take a look at HIMS. So HIMS, again, one of our top day 2. Why was it top day 2? Because it had earnings yesterday and we played it yesterday for a really, really nice home run. And you can see that today it was our top 3 day 2. 1, 2, 3, top day 3, 2. And so our plan was to short it if it's under the clouds and long it if it overs the cloud. But it was a short right out of the gate. Right out of the gate it was short, so heavy. You see breaking the MTF under the clouds, check. Under the clouds, check. Breaking yesterday's lows, check. And it was a huge winner, right? I mean, traders literally killed it, right? I mean, when I say that, very proud of my traders. Literally, everybody's on top of it. Look at Nami. Nami was on top of it. Oh, he shorted. He called the HIMS short right at the open. Beautiful, going under the MTF now, and everybody just banked on it. And Hami got 100% on those HIMS put. Anthony got 100%. Eddie, everybody just nailed that short on HIMS today. Beautiful trade. Let's go to the next one. A few other plays, and we didn't really too much focus on their setups, but I want to talk about the Apple, right? So Apple, what was the Apple today? Even after hours news really pushed it hard, but we had our game plan on Apple, right? If you're index stocks trader, Apple was a good one. iPhone 17 event for September 9th. And Apple said it won't have much effect of India. Now Trump had a good news. So 205, 207 trade versus MTF on pullback. So I told the traders to long versus MTF on the pullback. That's simple. All you had to follow the teachings. You pushed higher. It's a long or pre-market high. Take it long. MTF break, take it long. MTF break, take it long. Flag, take it long. Flag, take it long. All day, nothing else but long. And not only that, Apple was a lot of flow on Apple. That's why you use these option flow scanners. Ghostbird came in. He announced that there's a catalyst on Apple, that what's going to happen. Trump is going to speak about Apple, and then he had a flow and flow on Apple and new commitment from Apple. When you have such a bullish news, it's an A plus long. It's an A plus long. And you have the MTF clouds, 1, 2, 3 MTF clouds for push. That's how you make it winner trade setup. Before we wrap up, just want to talk about Tesla. So Tesla, what was Tesla? Tesla again was a trade with the MTF clouds. Similar to Apple. Pushed over the 1 hour MTF, pushed over the 20 and 50 MTF, right? Ripster MTF clouds. And you see that how it ran all day. I mean, I was not on Tesla. I was busy with guiding other traders, but you can see this is called a magnet setup. So magnet, 1 hour MTF to the double FTF. That's a magnet. It's always act as magnet. You can always go to 30-minute chart. You can see this. It's also, gap between this. This is a magnet setup or the gap setup, whatever you want to call it, but it's a highly probable setup. And you just have to follow the system and take it long, right? So that was it, guys. Hopefully you guys can learn these earning setups and day 2 setups and kill it. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.